before we proceed, we need to understand our IDE, what our IDE is. We need to understand what our IDE is and how we can navigate our IDE environment. Our IDE in this case is Visual Studio. So you might ask, how do I navigate Visual Studio? So up here in the first menu bar here, we have the file. Here you can create either a new project, a new file, or a new repository, a GitHub repository. Here we can open a folder or a file. Here we can clone a GitHub repository. Here we can create a new window. Here we can add a new or an existing project to this our project. So you need to understand some basic terminologies. This right here is a solution. This right here is a project. A project is contained in a solution in a .NET environment. So a project is always contained in a solution, and a project contains the code that we're going to be writing. That is our C# program. Here under our file we have our save function, then we have exit and to view recent project and solution. Here on the edit, we can undo, we can redo, we can remove, we can cut. Here on the view, we can check our solution explorer, check your GitHub changes. Here check your GitHub repository. Here's our team explorer, our server explorer. As you begin to use Visual Studio, you begin to become more acclimatized to these tools. Here we have our GitHub Copilot chat, bookmark window, and other useful tools. Here we have our terminal. So I'll just be pinpointing the useful tools for you currently. We have our terminal. We have other windows, our toolbar. We have the full screen. Here we have Git. So when I want to initialize this project to my GitHub repository, all I need to do is to click on create Git repository, and automatically my Git repository gets created and pushed to my GitHub repo. Here we have projects, so you can create or make some edit or changes on your project, like adding new classes, adding new data sources, or adding an existing item. Here build, you can build the solution from here, or rebuild the solution, or even clean the solution from here. On the debug window, we have the option to start debugging or start without debugging. We can step in and step over. Then we have the tests. You can run all tests, repeat last tests, and as you use Visual Studio, you become more acclimatized to these tools. Now we have the analyze, the tools. So in the tools, you can connect to your database, SQL Server, NuGet Package Manager, and some Python if you have Python installed in your Visual Studio. Here we have extensions, and in this place we can manage our extensions. And we also have the windows, the window tab. You can create a new window here. You can dock, and we can create as dock as a tabbed document. Here help, if you need help with Visual Studio, you can also come here and click on getting started. You get redirected to their website. So that's pretty much everything to understand about Visual Studio. So here you might ask, what is this play button doing here? This play button is actually the button that starts our Visual Studio app, our Visual Studio our C# program rather. And yeah, that's pretty much everything you need to know about Visual Studio. Thank you. See you in the next episode.